Hello everybody, it's good to see you today for our very last workshop. And I would like to share with you that today we're going to be presenting voice threads and answering questions, but I also want to show you that I added this probably a couple of weeks ago, a Slides Go link that someone did a presentation in Slides Go, and it doesn't even matter if it says this because you can just click out up here. And it's a wonderful template for these great sort of PowerPoint Google Slides. I will share with you that what I have found is that you technically can put your Google slides right into VoiceThread, but I have found that it takes a lot longer to do that than it does to just download the Google Slides as a PowerPoint and then upload them to VoiceThread. For some reason, the PowerPoint just seems to go into VoiceThread much faster. I will share the one thing that happens is that, well, a couple of things, that when you download to PowerPoint, if it doesn't have the font already, it'll choose a different font. So sometimes you have to kind of fix things and move things around. And I don't know if you've noticed that sometimes when you upload your slides from PowerPoint to VoiceThread, that it might move things around and sometimes cut off certain things. And so I don't know why that happens specifically, but I do know that I pay attention to that so that I can sometimes just save the slides that are messed up and upload those to fix them. So, you know, but it's a minor thing to do, but I'm just sharing that sometimes I have to go back and make some changes, or sometimes my slides, the wording looks a little off of where I wanted it to be, and if I have time, I'll go back and fix those. But that, you know, that's minor and not quite a big deal. But so I really like these because there's all sorts of themes that you can use, and I use these so that I'm not using the same templates from PowerPoint all the time. Also, I included my little video here. I created it this morning, and you can actually use my video or you can use a different video. I decided I actually made it in VoiceThread and then decided that I'd rather it just be a video because it's so short, and it's a mini tutorial about how to respond to a VoiceThread slide. And it is all of a 2 to 3 minute video, like I said, that I'm going to be now putting into my classes so that I'm not depending on somebody else's video. And I will share with you, this took me,
Hi everyone.
This took me a lot of attempts to get it to this quality. So it's, sometimes I will be doing the voiceovers for my VoiceThread slides, and it goes by very, very quickly. And then sometimes I'm just not on it the way that I want to be on it, and I have a hard time. And I will tell you one tip with videotaping is that you want to be more excited than you might be in real life, because if you just talk with your normal voice and it's kind of, you sound a little more down than you might. So sometimes I'm like even physically getting into it to get my voice to project the way that I want it, the way that I want it to. So yeah, so it's a 3.5 minute video, and I used a real example, but I did not show the students examples on purpose, but I show students how to initially reply, how to use the pencils for doodling, how to, telling them that they can delete their comments and then share with them about threading. So that's basically what I do in this little 3 minute video tutorial.
And actually, can I ask, Janet, I have a question, and actually, Angie just has the same question about a script, because that's one of the things that I noticed. I tried to do it from a script.
Yes.
It took me a long time. And then, bonus, I was using Safari. So when I went to go look at it,
Oh, no,
gone.
that's
Yeah, it was like, oh man.
on Firefox or Google, and I'm
Yeah, that
very,
was a huge waste of time.
yes,
So
yes.
what do
Sometimes
you
I
use the script or just go natural and then do transcripts?
okay, so for this, what's going to happen if it's not ready yet? It will have the captions. I just did this morning, so it'll eventually have those captions, and then I'll go back and fix them. VoiceThread also has captions, and Sadie said she was going to fix my account because I'm no longer able to request them because I'm in a dual account where I have an account through the college. I have my own account, and then I was part of a VoiceThread certification class a number of years ago. So, but VoiceThread itself is supposed to caption, you can request the captions and they're supposed to caption your slides. So I will share that with this particular video, I did it off the top of my head, which again, that makes it take longer in certain ways, but sometimes I will write the script and go from the script as well. But eventually this will be captioned. But I rely as much on the captioning software that they offer to us, and then I go back and I fix the capitalizations and periods and that kind of thing. So yeah, this is not here, the captions aren't here yet, and sometimes I just go back and edit and like hit on subtitles and then go back and it'll finally show up. But this eventually this should have it on its own. It should be here like that. So I did that one off the top of my head, and you're going to see some of the voice threads I did today. They are not with the requested captions yet because I'm having that particular issue. But if that happens, if I'm not able to get the captions and I want to use it for the class, I will then copy and paste text and put it right into the voice thread itself, as I'll have the audio comment and then I will have the actual text comment too. All right. Going back to the modules here, and I'm not getting rid of this class, so you'll have access to it. I'm just sharing that with you. I like to go back to old classes from time to time, and so you'll have this here. Okay, so here we go.
I have a question. Can you import like from one VoiceThread account to like another? Like say for example, like in your one account, right? You did this really awesome presentation on MLA or argument. Can you take that and then transfer it to the other voice?
And you can email it and share it. Yes, you can. Sometimes
Okay.
you have to do the workaround a little bit, a little bit with it, but yes, you can. Because I've done that before, where I've sent my very initial account, I sent my Cerritos College account, like I sent an email sharing it and allowing for viewing and commenting, and I've used that. So yes, absolutely. Thank goodness. Okay. All right. So is Joanne here yet?
I'm here.
Hey, Joanne, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. It's good to hear you.
I'll get here, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Your background is better than mine. I'm not able to do, and so is Angie's. I love the Diego Rivera Frida Kahlo. I'm not able to do the virtual background. I think my computer is too old, so I just have my wall here. All right. So we shared quite a few here today, and I shared some as well. Like I said, feel free to, and thank you, Anna, for commenting. Feel free to share. I figure that this is really more of an opportunity for us to showcase what we've done. We've spent some time answering questions, etc. And if you don't have one you're ready to share yet, that's okay. I think we have plenty. And again, I want to emphasize that this will stay here. So even if you wanted to share some more voice threads or ask, you know, request some, because what's great is I actually did a couple things. One is I will sometimes go back to old voice threads, delete some slides that I think are too old, like they're not saying that the information that I want them to say, but I like part of the voice thread. So I'll upload new slides and then I will, you know, make comments on those. And so I will repurpose. And then I took a voice thread from a friend that I really liked as an example, and I just did the voiceover myself, which you can do as well. So yeah, so let's get started. Joanne, are you okay if I open up your voice thread and then you can start talking about it? And
Oh, yeah, sure. It's very simple. It's for a pronunciation course that I'm teaching. And this would be kind of like an end activity that the students do after they've kind of gone over, you know, producing certain sounds.
awesome, awesome. How many of you are starting to feel more comfortable with maybe making a few quick voice threads? Like they don't have to be perfect. You're okay with just maybe having a few slides, right? As opposed to a bunch. I love this, by the way, Joanne. In fact, I want to try and find a video. I had a friend who lives in France and she teaches English. And so she did a whole thing with family and drew these pictures because she was here and she had to do a little video to send home. So she sat in her mother's bathroom and recorded this video based on the family members. And, you know, and so I was thinking about that when I saw this particular topic. I love it. So, all right, I'm going to make us a little bit smaller here. And Joanne, are you okay if I play your comments? And
yeah, I don't know if everybody wants to hear it. Kind of takes long, but yeah, feel free.
Awesome.
In this voice thread, I'm going to show you a sample assignment of how you are going to introduce your family, and I'll be showing you my family. For this exercise, I'd like you to pay attention to the TH sound, the voiced TH and the voiceless.
Now, Joanne, I taught ESL when I taught high school, and I taught advanced ESL. And that's one of the first things that you listen to where you can catch whether English is a first or second language. That. So I like that you're telling them to sort of pay attention to that. I know with Spanish, I always wanted to pronounce the Z in zapato, for example, but there's no Z sound. And so sometimes making people understand there are, even though it's spelled the same, there's two different ways of pronouncing it. And yeah, and I like that you're including your family. This is very much a humanizing element to your voice thread. All right.
Before you introduce your family, I'd like to go over a couple of words that have TH in them. So I'm going to say the words, repeat after me, and then I want you to figure out if the words have a voiced TH sound or a voiceless TH sound. So remember that when you're pronouncing a voiced TH, if you put your hand on your throat, you're going to feel it vibrate. So for example, words like the. You can feel your vocal cords vibrate. But if you have a voiceless TH, it won't vibrate. So for example, if you said the word thought. So there's voiced TH and voiceless TH. Okay, here we go. Number 1, mother. Number 2, father. Number 3, brother. Number 4, grandfather. Number 5, grandmother. Number 6, Thomas. Thomas. And number 7, Beth. Beth.
That Thomas one is a sneaky one.
That was a tricky one. That was a trick.
Now, are they doing something on their paper with you? Like, are they doing something on a piece of paper, like they're marking things, or are they just practicing it orally?
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. Yeah, this was kind of like a culminating activity, so they've done that before, but yeah, that would be a great idea. And I should like video myself, but I'm just not there yet.
You know, Joanne, I was going to say that when you were explaining it, putting your fingers on your throat, that the video would work. I have to tell you, I struggle with that too, and I know that the video is better. But most of the time when I'm trying to get ready for video, it's like a whole thing. And I just need to get the VoiceThread done. And it might be 10 at night, or it might be very early in the morning and my hair is not done and there's no makeup and there's no, you know, so I hear you. All right. Oh, and so you have the answers. Okay. All right. That one's a hard one, that Thomas. Oh my goodness. All right. And then, okay, let's.
Oh, geez.
Yay. How cute. I love it.
So this is my family. It's my immediate family. This picture was taken a long time ago. Probably, judging by the clothing, it was in the 1970s. So anyways, the first person in the picture, this is my father.
All right.
And his name is Tommy. This silly looking kid is me. The next one is my brother. His name is Thomas. And this person here is my sister. Her name's Lisa. And this lady over here is my mother. Her name is Keiko. So my father's parents came from Japan. They immigrated to the United States back in the early 1900s. So my grandfather's name was Tokuzo, and my grandmother's name on my father's side was named Kohana. On my mother's side, her parents were also in Japan. My mother's also from Japan. And my grandmother's name on her side is Kikuyo, and my grandfather, his name was Tadae. And that is my family.
I love this for so many reasons. It's humanizing. You are using the doodle tool. You're giving examples of the different names and the TH sounds. And I'm interested in watching the whole thing. I'm not like, oh, I'm just learning about TH. You know what I mean? It's like I'm interested, and they're able to connect to you. And so they, you know, as an instructor. And on an aside, I used to live in South Pasadena, and my neighbor's name was Keiko, and I loved her.
Hey.
Oh, right. Nice. Okay, I'm excited.
For this slide, you will either leave a video or a voice recording introducing your family. Before you record, I highly recommend that you write down what you're going to say and be sure that you include words that have the TH sound. I look forward to hearing about your family. Thank you.
Now, have you used this yet, Joanne?
No, my class hasn't started yet.
Oh, are you a July start?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, mine started last week. I'm like going, oh my gosh, so much. This is great. So is this is going to be a culminating activity after a particular unit then?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I love this.
Oh, thank you.
I love this. And yeah, fantastic.
It was fun to do, but it did take time.
Well, yeah, of course it took time. And you know, one of the things that you could do too, if you decided you wanted to come back and redo this instruction when you can do a video, is you have the picture and say, what would be great is if you could do the video and then put your picture up there so that we can see, and maybe you can point to your family members.
Oh, that is a good idea. I could still do that. Thank you.
You are welcome. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to say to Joanne?
Thank you.
It was
Thanks,
great.
Anna.
Yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed watching it, and I think that the students will like it as well. And so, yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
You're connecting the linguistic part, which is the you're wanting to teach a particular something with the story and making it interesting. Plus, you're connecting it because you're sharing your own information, your own story as well. So it's like you're doing three things at one time. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Actually, I had a question, Janet. So, Joanne, when you mean it took a lot of time, roughly how many hours?
Roughly, maybe 2 to 3. Trying to find a picture was one of the hardest parts.
I bet you that was the hardest, yeah.
I love it though. I'm going to be 50 this month, and so I was born in 70, so I remember those clothes well.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, it was very well done.
Thank you. And really, it was just kind of figuring out how to use the VoiceThread itself. So that's kind of what hopefully the next one won't take me as long.
Right. And I encourage you to continue to say, like, there's times when I have this material that it's really straightforward in the text from my point of view. And then I start to get questions about from students about, but what? And so what I've been starting to do is I have the handout, and then I have a VoiceThread little mini lecture with it. And I find that that's been helping. And then I embed that VoiceThread with the assignment. So it's just right there. So the VoiceThread itself is not the assignment. It's just there as a tutorial. All right. Anna, are you, okay, so, okay, I was thinking that I was scrolling down and there were several, so I want to make sure. Are you okay if I open this up? Oh, can you unmute yourself? Sorry.
My mouse turned off, sorry. Yes, sure, go ahead. This one I assigned this morning, so probably no one's commented on it yet.
Oh, you're sharing one that you actually assigned. Oh, my access is denied. So let me ask, do you have your voice through? Well, maybe I can do it through here. Let's see.
Hello, class. This is Professor Morrison, and this is your presentation on descriptive writing.
All right. Yay.
And you can make it bigger if you wanted to.
Let me see if I can. I have an issue. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't cause
Zoom
problems.
Yeah.
This is where I think I had problems showing. Okay, there. Well, yay. Okay.
There it goes.
There it goes. Okay.
Descriptive writing is when we paint a verbal picture of a person, place, or thing. We want our reader to be able to see through our eyes and hear through our ears. If we describe what a great piece of apple pie tastes like, we want them to be able to know how that feels. A lot of times we use I, me, and we to show that it's happening to us, and then when the reader reads it, it feels like it's happening to them too. We really want the reader to engage through descriptive details.
I love that. And see, and Anna, because of this is a way perfect, Anna. So
I did that this morning in class because we're synchronous. So I showed it to them. I didn't play it for them, but I showed it to them and I said, here's what your assignment is, and I'm going to do a sample comment. So
fantastic. And I love that you changed the font color to focus in on, what you wanted to focus in on. And Yeah, I like this. And so you used it. That's great too, that you use this as part of your lecture.
Right, but I didn't play it for them because I want them, I have a whole different other descriptive lecture that I gave them. And then this is homework to watch this. It's like a little mini refresher of what we covered. And then they have to put in a comment with a description of something in their home.
Fantastic. I like that. So you have this, it's layered with lecture, then this is the homework, and you gave an example as well. Fantastic. All right. Ooh, look how colorful. Love that.
When we're writing descriptive and narrative essays, this is when it is the very most important to include sharp, colorful details. Narratives include description. Description could be its own assignment, but narrative always includes description.
Fantastic.
Here is an example of a very dull sentence. A fan was in the window. This is not exciting at all. I bet we could make it better. Here, we've made it better. These are sharp, colorful, descriptive details. The blades of the rusty window fan clattered and whirled as they blew out a stream of warm, soggy air. Not all descriptions are positive, sorry. But we see here the rusty window fan. We can imagine what that looks like and the texture of it as well. The strong verbs, clattered and whirled, really bring us into the sensory description. And the warm, soggy air. These adjectives really help to bring us into what's going on.
Fantastic. I'm picturing, I'm sad. I'm like, oh my gosh, the summer, it's coming, it's coming.
So this is a Word document, and my works cited got cut off at the end. And I was working a lot on this, and I was like, it's good enough at this point.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes things get cut off and you're like, but it's on my slide, but it's cut off on VoiceThread. So sometimes, yeah, that can be tricky.
Here I have some more examples of descriptive writing. The first part is a paragraph from a book you may be familiar with, The Tale of Despereaux by Kate DiCamillo. And here in a very short paragraph, we have a lot of great descriptive detail. There was in the banquet hall a most beautiful and ornate chandelier. The crystals that hung from it caught the light of the candles on the table and the light from the face of the laughing princess. They danced to the rhythm of the minstrel's music, swaying back and forth, twinkling and beckoning. 3 sentences, and we get a clear picture of what's going on. We can see the chandelier, we can see the light, and we can see a laughing princess. We can hear her laughing. We can feel the rhythm of the music. And these wonderful verbs, twinkling and beckoning, really bring us into the action. The next one is just about sound. This is a poem by Jack Perletsky called It Was a Sound. It was a sound, an awful sound, a sound both sharp and flat, and high and low and screechy, like the shrieking of a cat. It was a scratchy, scrapey sound. It sank into my skin. That sound my sister made today. She plays the violin. This is just about hearing things. And we see a wonderful original description, like the shrieking of a cat. So if, in case you haven't heard someone just learning how to play a violin, maybe you've heard a really upset cat before, and it's the same sound. It is the same sound. So this is a wonderful description. This next one starts at the bottom and then goes over to the next column. This is called Brownie's Oops by Joyce Sidman. and it actually incorporates all the senses. So we start with scent. I smelled them from my room, a wafting wave of chocolateness. I listened for movement, ears pricked like a bat's. I crept down, stepped over the sleeping dog. I felt the cold linoleum on my bare toes. I saw the warm, thick brick of brownies. I slashed a huge chunk right out of the middle. The gooey hunks of chocolate winked at me as I gobbled them. Afterward, the pan gaped like an accusing eye. My head said, oops, but my stomach said heavenly. So oops is sort of like an apology, right? Sort of. So we smell them, then we can hear, we can feel, we can see, we can gobble, and we know what it tasted like because our stomach said heavenly. And these are wonderful descriptive details.
So Anna, how many times did you have to start and stop your comments here? How long did that take?
Oh, about 3 or 4 takes. Yeah, it took a while, and then my birds decided that they wanted to sing along, which happens. And so I'd have to start over again. I'm like closing doors, which freaks them out. So then I have to open the door. Yeah, no, it was fun.
I will tell you that you did a really wonderful job. If you wanted to, you could have made it 3 different comments if you had to. And I know because I have to deal with my dog, and sometimes it's like I'm almost at the end and then the dog starts to bother. So,
oh, you mean 3 different comments, not 3 different slides? Because I was thinking I should have just made this 3 different slides.
Well, yeah, you could make this 3 different slides very easily. Absolutely, this could have been 3 different slides. And you could have decided that you were going to add a visual to each of these little pieces, and you could actually get the work cited in. But it could be 3 comments too. It's just, you know, there's lots of different ways to consider how you might want to do it.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
All right.
This has been your presentation about descriptive writing. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, so students aren't commenting here, right?
They are.
They are.
But they can comment on any slide they wish.
Okay, so that's part of the instructions that you gave them ahead of time. Okay.
Yes.
Because this could be, please put your questions here, or please, you know, it could even be either ask a question or make a comment.
Right.
You know,
right.
it could be,
Yeah.
you know, either or, and then that invites them to also participate more.
And I can add an additional comment also saying that, right?
Yeah, you absolutely can add an additional comment, and or you can change your comment, or like I said before, what I've done, you know, many different times is I am taking old voice threads and I'm like you said, oh, I could have put that on 3 different slides. I don't know why I didn't think to do that. Well, you might have had that writing on a single sheet of paper. So you're like, I'm going to put the single sheet up and I'm going to talk about all 3. And truly, what's kind of neat is that there's the juxtaposition of all 3 different types of description. So that's kind of one neat thing about having it all be on one sheet of paper, you know. So there's different considerations there, you know, different choices, and we all make different choices based on what it is we're really trying to focus on based on our students. And so we change over time. So that's what I love, is that we don't have to remake a whole big video about something. We can just take out a slide or add a comment or switch it around.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything they would like to say further or questions for Anna?
Well, I really like the one page with all the different descriptions. I thought that worked really, really well. And that tool for you to point them towards it, I think was very useful. Yeah, that was really good. And so one of the things that I'm really liking about this program is that you can go back, because I've used other software that one take is all you get, right? So, you know, the program Show Me, I've used that for, you know, for various things, and it is caption images with sound, but you get one take and that's it. So the nice thing about this is you can go back and redo it if you're not satisfied with what you created, or adapt it, like Janet was saying. That this gives us a lot more flexibility to be able to use it with students and then adapt it, or change it up a little bit, just like you would any other material for instruction. I think that that's a very strong selling point for the program.
Yes, and you can have everything captioned too, Martha. In fact, I was thinking, because I need to make sure that the videos, I've done videos each week of this. I have to look back and see if I sent them in the announcements or not. But if you missed any of the 3 workshop days, or you just want to come back and kind of revisit, I will have those videos there. In fact, I'm writing myself a note about that too. So I want to make sure the videos are there for everybody. So thank you for that. I'm going to skip mine for now, and we'll go back if I have time. And thank you, Anna. All right, so this is where I was like, Anna, you shared some more. And so thank you for sharing more. Which I know there's just, and I'm going to be going back and going, oh my gosh, I'm going to come back and I'm going to steal some ideas. This is one of the wonderful things about us being in a workshop together, is that we have these ideas about how we can create these for our class. Thank you. Yes.
And I actually used SlidesGo for the first time, and I didn't know that you had posted it on there, but the argument of evaluation one is a SlidesGo theme, because I wanted to do it with film as my theme. And it does not, VoiceThread cannot read the fonts. I had to go through and change all the fonts. This took 4 or 5 hours just to do the arguments of evaluation one.
Okay, so what I do is I like to just do it on Google Slides, because I've got an older version of PowerPoint, but then you download it as a PowerPoint and then upload it.
I did do that.
And that's
VoiceThread could not read the fonts.
That is weird. I've never run into that particular problem, because my PowerPoint, it just changes the font.
Yeah, I changed all the fonts from my PowerPoint when I put it into VoiceThread.
Right. That happens. That does happen from time to time.
Yeah.
But usually the biggest change for me happens from downloading it from Google to PowerPoint. But that may be because I have an older version of PowerPoint that has less fonts.
Oh no, it seemed to me VoiceThread could only work with a limited number of fonts.
Yeah, and that may be something to add as a critique for them as well, font styles.
And so that meant that I had to find new fonts, and I had to realign things on the different slides.
Really?
Yes, and this arguments of evaluation, I worked from 12 to 4 on that, and finally said, I'm done.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
But the other ones went a little better, and I was able to, like, for the Mythbusters, I have a handout that they have on Canvas, and they have the links. You can't follow the links on VoiceThread either. So I have the links there with the handout, and then I show them the handout on the VoiceThread.
Right.
So they cannot click on the VoiceThread and follow links.
No, you cannot. That's very true. But you can, yeah, you can. That's extremely true. So if there's other links, you have to figure out another way to do that. But I will tell you that if you, let's say you love the font, like you are like, I love the font so much, you could always take screenshots of the slides and name them like slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, and upload them directly to VoiceThread. That's another workaround. And because I'm looking at this Myths Busted, because I do that too. Like even if I were going to go into your VoiceThreads, and if there was a slide that I loved and I wasn't able to get permission from you to share whatever it is, if I wanted to, I could just do a screenshot of whatever it is. So that's just something to think about. There's always a workaround, but sometimes these workarounds take time.
And I
Ooh,
really loved being able to use Word documents and slides interchangeably because I have this packet that I normally use for the narrative, and I was able to put in the slides and the forms, and then of course I provide them with the forms also.
right.
So that was really nice to be able to use.
Martha, is there Martha and
Yes.
Andrew? Let's see where. Oh, hi, Bernice. Andrew, is there one that you would like to show us or no?
It's on my Canvas site.
Okay, can I?
'Cause
I'm
I
going to
was
stop sharing.
testing. I was testing the trying to embed it and get all that running.
Okay, what I'll do is I am going to make you a co-host right now, and then you can share your screen, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, let me find.
Okay, so I now you are a co-host, and you can share your screen whenever you're ready. Martha, did you share? I feel like you shared one in a
Yep.
different location. So
I put it under the discussion.
the discussion, but maybe an earlier discussion because I just opened up the other discussion today. So we'll go to that and as soon as Andrew's done.
Okay.
So I didn't add any dialogue to this yet because this was more of an attempt at trying out an ID exam where they go in and identify the microphones,
Oh, okay.
and then they would comment. And I have a dummy account that acts as a student, so I could actually test the commenting.
Oh, good.
So that's as far as I got. I was just interested to see what it did to my grade book and how the grading works within VoiceThread. So if I went to microphone identification, it would open up this and I could go. But I thought it was a little odd that even though I set it up as a graded thing, I don't see a list of students.
It looks, yeah, I think it's because, oh, that's true. You don't see a list of students.
Yeah. Within the actual slides, I can see the comments. I made a couple comments. And I received email notifications that comments were made.
Okay.
Um,
And this is not, this is a class that has already started, correct?
yeah. I was just testing this to see. I was not I've already done this exam in a different way,
Right.
so I was just testing to see if this would be an alternate method of doing it. Because
Right.
I'm more interested in, for the PowerPoints with dialogue and me speaking. I've got Camtasia doing that and captioning everything for me. So I'm more interested in sort of the interactivity between
Yes. Yeah.
this. For example, Art was asking me about it because they're saying, well, could they have a painting and then allow students to comment on the painting? And I said, yes, that is possible. I'm still seeing what the resolution is like. It looks like it's keeping all the pixels that I used, but I haven't tested anything with high resolution to see if VoiceThread is doing any compression and removing pixels and making images a little grainy.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. All right. So, Martha, would you like it if I made you a co-host? Okay, I will do that right now. I'll tell you
That's
when
fine.
I'm ready. I am going to, I'm withdrawing your co-host permission, Andrew, just so I can give it to Martha. That's a new Zoom thing. Everybody used to be able to share their screens. Okay, Martha, you are set.
Okay, so let me move this up a little bit. Okay, everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. I'd like to start our conversation about your natural remedy speech by telling you a story about a plant called aloe vera. So the first time I heard about the aloe vera plant was when I was talking to my mother, and she had these gigantic aloe vera plants in our back yard. I would always walk by them, didn't pay much attention, but one day somebody got hurt, and my mother told me to run to the aloe vera plant and cut about 3 inches from a nice green prong. I wondered why, but she said, just go and do it. So that's how I was introduced to aloe vera.
Mark,
So this is one of her giant aloe vera plants.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you go to the CC up in the upper right-hand corner there? I want to see what, right there next to your name, it says CC. Can you click on that CC?
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I'm trying to make some room here.
Okay, so you have it as on. Can you now go back to your comment
Mm-hmm.
and kind of click next to it and go to the CC there?
Okay.
And this is what I want you to be able to do that I haven't been able to show you because of my accounts. Go to language and choose English, and then click on order. And then hit OK. In 4 days, but you have to do this for every slide.
Okay.
Your slides will be captioned. And I'm so glad I asked you to do this, Martha, because everybody should do that to all your slides. That's what I do is that when I'm making my voice threads as a practice, after I'm commenting on my slides, I request those captions. Like I said, I just have a problem with my accounts right now.
I thought I had to do it for every slide, but on one of them, I tested it and I just did the first slide, the order. And when it came through, it was for all of them.
That is weird, Anna, because that's how I started when they first offered captioning, because they didn't have it at first. And so I would always type my comment below, a paraphrase of it. And I tried to do that with my voice threads, and I didn't have any luck. I had to go back and do every slide. But if that works, great. So I would recommend everybody try Anna's approach with your current voice threads and just try that first slide and see if that's true for you. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, it was a lot less time consuming.
Yes, absolutely. Joanne.
Once you order it, does it, do you have to do anything, or does it upload automatically?
It uploads automatically and it sends you a notice.
Okay, great.
But can you still change it if there's some errors, or?
Yes, you can edit the comments. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. So I didn't do any of that because this is still a work in progress.
Right.
I should give you a little background. I do I do 3 speeches with all my classes, and this one is for low and intermediate students, so it has to be really basic. But mostly, I'm trying to figure out how to do this online and synchronous because in the past, I've given them the hard copy, the instructions, and I've also brought in examples from previous speeches that students have done. And of course, now that it's online, I'm trying to figure out, and I try not to give them a lot of, I've given them the instructions and examples, but I try not to give them a lot of examples because I have been so pleased with their work.
Right.
They have always produced such wonderful, posters or, interaction. And so I try to be as, as hands-off, yeah, as possible. So that's the thing. That's why I'm still working on this. And I want to present it either tonight or next week. And I'm still trying to figure out how much information do I give them. because it also is also such a low level, I want them, this is also going to be part of their work, is they need to listen for certain verbs, which is at the end. And actually, because of time, I would like to go to another slide and kind of skip this. I talk about a little bit of my mother's fascination with aloe vera,
Which I
but
love.
at this, yeah, yeah. And at this, I'm giving them the instructions, and this is where this is the nitty gritty of, you know, what it is that they're going to do. And I don't think I have another one. Oh yeah, I do. I have a couple of other examples, and this is where I'm kind of trying to figure out, do I give them this example? And this is just from a website. The other thing I wanted to do is because, or one of the other things that we're doing is we're working on verbs. So I'm going to highlight the verbs and
Yes.
the understood you, which always boggles students.
No, it's hard.
That's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I think the example is a good idea. I think especially when you are not doing something synchronously and they can get another example, it's a good idea. But I know I go back and forth with that. It's like, do I give an example? Do I not give an example? But I like that. My question is, are you having them comment on the slides themselves?
Oh, yes, definitely. This is a low intermediate. They have some skills under their belt, but they need to, and you know, because it is a low intermediate, we have some that are really, really low on the low end, and some that are pretty verbal. So I am going to have them comment, and of course, I have to show them how to do that. But I know some of them will be better at commenting because it's a visual and because we're going to do this in class. But I definitely, that's a given for an ESL class. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what are you telling them? Oh, I can't.
I'm
Wait,
gonna
say that one more time.
I want to have them record comments because I know that you can and
Yes. Yeah.
for the students that are a little bit lower, if they want to type in some comments, that'll be okay. But the goal would be for them to actually click record, which I can show them. That's the nice thing about, you know, doing this online, is I can show them how that works. And then in the class, the idea before we do this is just to record, just to give them a little practice, and then just have everybody, you know, chime in as I show them how to do that. And then later on, they can do their own recording.
So let me ask you this. The instructions for the VoiceThread, is that going to be on Canvas, or are you going to give it to them verbally during the synchronous meeting, or via a slide on VoiceThread here, or?
I'm going to show them in class, and we're going to do a practice, but I actually created for a different VoiceThread arrows, you know, showing where all the different tools are and how to move to the next slide and whatnot. So I have created that, which I'm going to import from that one to this one.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I do different things where I used to have every VoiceThread have the instructions in a slide, and I do that. Sometimes I have it there and sometimes I don't. It just depends on the class and what the introductory VoiceThread has them do, etc.
Yeah, I would agree because some, you know, I'm starting to realize that a little bit higher level of student, like a high intermediate, which would excuse me, a high intermediate ESL student, which is basically a student that would be in Joanne's ESL 5, they really can manage the computer technology a lot better, and of course the language, than this level of student that I have right now. So it'll be challenging, but interesting. You know, we will all learn a lot.
Right. All right. So at this point in time, we're at 3 o'clock, or actually 3:01. I want to take a moment again to say thank you so much for being part of this workshop. And I would hope it would be lovely if we could continue to share some of the voice threads that we're creating, and you know,